Can I change my FSA election during the year? If you are wondering whether you can change your flexible spending account election during the year, you are not alone. Many people have questions about how these accounts work, especially when life changes occur. Generally, you cannot change your flexible spending account election outside of the designated open enrollment period. However, there are specific situations known as qualifying life events that allow for adjustments. The primary time to set or change your flexible spending account election is during your employer's annual open enrollment. This is when you can decide how much money to contribute for the upcoming year. Outside of this period, changes are limited. So, what qualifies as a life event? Common examples include changes in marital status, such as marriage, divorce, or the death of a spouse. If you have a child through birth or adoption, that also counts. Changes in your employment status, like starting or leaving a job, can affect your eligibility or coverage. Additionally, if you move or change dependent care arrangements that impact costs, you may be able to make changes. If you experience one of these qualifying events, you typically need to notify your employer or flexible spending account administrator within 30 days. You will also need to provide supporting documentation to confirm the change. It is important to remember that any change you make must be consistent with the qualifying event. For instance, if you have a new child, you can increase your contribution amount. Conversely, if you lose a dependent, you may need to decrease it. For those with a dependent care flexible spending account, there are specific rules that may allow you to adjust your election mid-year. For example, if you switch child care providers or your work schedule changes, you might be able to make adjustments. From a retirement planning perspective, flexible spending accounts are useful for managing out-of-pocket healthcare costs with pre-tax dollars. However, they differ from health savings accounts. Unlike flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts allow you to change your contribution amounts at any time during the year, as long as you remain eligible. This flexibility can be very beneficial for retirees or those planning for healthcare expenses in retirement. Keep in mind that flexible spending accounts generally operate under a use it or lose it rule. This means that any unused funds may be forfeited at the end of the year or after a grace period. Therefore, it is essential to carefully estimate your anticipated medical costs during the open enrollment period. Since mid-year changes are limited, thoughtful planning is key. In summary, you can change your flexible spending account election during the year only if you experience a qualifying life event and follow the necessary procedures. This limited flexibility stands in contrast to health savings accounts, which offer more freedom to adjust contributions throughout the year.